This is Black History Month. I am not lost on this fact. We can't talk about awesome black waifus without talking about the one and only Storm, Aurora Monroe in this bitch. One of the most iconic X-Men and iconic superheroes in general. I always liked just how larger than life she was. I liked that she was a very complex character, and even with like in the original 90s cartoon, we saw that she wasn't perfect. She wasn't completely unbeatable. Like, you know, she had her flaws, her setbacks. She had her crippling claustrophobia that she's had since childhood. But even while facing all that, she was the type of character to where she technically is OP. And if she like went all out or anywhere close to all out, she would just like decimate everything. They also do things with her where things will happen and like she'll have her powers removed or won't be able to access them. Then she'll be able to shine and show you, okay, yeah, I have these powers, but that's not why I am who I am. Storm is who she is because of who she is inside, whether that's her compassionate side, whether that's her strong leadership material, whether that's her unconquerable spirit. Who she is based on who she is inside. And I do genuinely love that. Personally, outside of the comics, my favorite version of Storm would have to be how she is in X-Men Evolution. I feel like that one is all the greatness that we grew up with as smaller kids with the 90s with better dialogue. I still love Storm, but sometimes when she be talking in the old show, that's a little bit much for me. I'm like, okay, right now you're on like 11,000. Can I at least have you scale back to a 10? Thank you. But I feel like in that show, she had definitely the same similar attitude. She had a very motherly presence about her, and that was helped a lot by her relationship with Spike. Evan, I think his real name was. She was such a good like parental figure to him, and just a sort of seasoned member of the X-Men in general. Also, her outfit is darker here, and I'm definitely here more for her darker outfits. I even like a recent design that they're doing for her for a new comic book, X-Men Red, that I think drops this March, if I'm not mistaken. But this redesign is fire. Like this idea right here, I love this because it's combining like the elements of the old and the new.
Oh, that looks good. That looks good.
I love how they gave her like the mohawk and the more like cloudy hair. So that's like a shout out to her punk rock look. Have no idea if the story is going to be good at all. Like the story could blow chunks. Probably will. But
at least the design is good.
What do you think about Storm?
I think that she's actually, when I was a kid, she was the very first Marvel character that I actually had a crush on. Like she has this very strong presence. I think that's the best way I can describe it. She feels
feel you there.
Like, yeah, she feels really, really like powerful.
This may be another hot nerd take, but I do have to be real. When it comes to Halle Berry portraying Storm, I know that when it comes to the live action, Storm just has not been dealt a good hand, like just at all. But I do think that when it comes to Halle Berry, she was like one of the biggest black actresses at the time. And I think back then, the only real choices would have been Halle Berry and Angela Bassett. And I think she was already in her 40s by the time they were making the X-Men movie. So it makes sense why they cast her. And honestly, I think in X-Men 3, The Last Stand, which I know is regarded as absolute trash, she actually did okay as Storm in that. If you haven't watched that movie in a while, go back and watch it. Just pay attention to Storm above anything else. She is commanding and compassionate at the same time. She is forceful when she has to be. She is soft on people, understanding when she has to be. She is a competent leader, and she knows how to fall back and play more of a team-based role. Has a sort of flair for theatrics when it comes to how she does her attacks, which I think is very Storm. And even when it comes to Halle Berry's delivery of her lines, for example, like she wasn't trying to mimic the cartoon or put on some faux African accent or anything. She was just playing the character. She was just being Aurora Monroe as she understood her to be. So you can throw the whole movie away, but we can't act like it was just nothing but trash the whole time. It's just weird that her best run as Storm was on one of the worst movies. What's up, y'all? Anime here. And what you just heard was a clip from a new live stream series I just started last week called Raise the Roof. A series of live streams I'm going to be doing weekly to help raise funds to help me replace my roof. Feel free to check out the whole episode linked in the description, and be sure to check in next week where we have another brand new full episode of Midweek Waifus. But for now, thanks for watching and listening. I'm Anime, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
All right then, it's time you remember why they call me Storm.